What's going on, everybody? Jake, aka Lunchtime, bringing you tips for both beginners and advanced players on how to improve aim in Call of Duty. Stay tuned here because I'm going to show you how to choose the right sensitivity, dead zone, and a lot of other general tips and tricks for improving aim in Call of Duty Vanguard. And real quick, before we get into the rest of the video, if you learned something, if you enjoy, be sure to let me know with a like or a sub down below. And if you want more tutorials or things like this throughout Call of Duty, leave a comment down below. Now, first and foremost are my settings. I don't want you guys to copy down exactly what I have. Again, a little bit later, we're going to go into how to choose the right sensitivity and the right dead zone, but in case you want to know exactly what I'm using, it is as follows. I run a 7.7 horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity. I do change my custom sensitivity down here to 0.95 for the low and the 2x, and then 1.1 for everything higher, including the sniper rifle aiming. Button layout, I play on claw, so I run default flip to shoot with L1 and R1. The aim response curve type, I rock dynamic. You guys should as well. Here are my min input dead zones. The important one, is right here on the right stick. Min input dead zone -3. I'm going to show you guys later how to find that out for yourselves, but you want this to be as low as possible. And then my left and right max input dead zone are up at 98 and 99 respectively. Into the gameplay aspect of the controller settings, I have target aim assist on with the default mode for target aim assist. Some people rock Black Ops. I keep this on default. ADS aim assist I keep on, although this only impacts campaign and zombies, so it doesn't change too much at all. Now, for choosing your sensitivity, what you need to do is go into a free-for-all lobby with just put a ton of bots in there. I have time limit unlimited, score limit unlimited, and I go and put radar on. I want you to copy this class exactly. For the attachments, I want you to choose the steady underbarrel, the 221 barrel, pine tar grip, fully loaded, and remove stock. The reason we choose these attachments is to get the hipfire spread as tight as possible. Now, once you are in the free-for-all, go to the settings, turn your sensitivity up a lot higher than you think you would. I already know where mine's at, but for the sake of testing this out, I'll move it up to 13. We're just going to be hip firing, so I want you to shoot and maintain your aim on the bots for as long as you can. Be on the lookout for minute adjustments in your aim throughout. So if you find yourself way overshooting or way undershooting while maintaining the hip fire spread, see, when I snapped all the way to the right, I went way farther than I needed to. It takes a couple bots before you can find it, but as long as you're strafing and as long as you are trying to keep your hip fire exactly where it needs to be, then you're in the clear. So if you saw on that last one, the guy that was shooting over here, my aim was going way far outside of his kind of general area. So that gives you the indication that it's time to turn the sensitivity down a little bit. So I'll go from 13, maybe down to 11. I'm a little bit better here, but I still find myself overshooting in the like mid to long range hip fires. But at these longer ranges, it's just near impossible for me to kind of keep that aim assist where it needs to be, especially when I'm snapping like you guys just saw right there. I'm not looking very clean at all with this one, so I know that it's time to lower this one down. Now down to 9, this should be a little bit closer to what I actually run, so you guys will start seeing the aim stay a lot more stable as I'm shooting these, as I'm shooting the bots, especially as I'm having to trace like this guy right here, strafing left to right. Still not perfect, but getting a little bit better. Now, I still don't feel completely confident with this one, so I'm going to go back down to where I know I thrive at, which is 7. And like I expected, this feels kind of right back at home for me. This is definitely what I'm used to. Yeah, so maintaining that aim, especially at that mid-range, being able to adjust from target to target. This is where I feel confident in my ability to maintain that, so I'm going to keep it here at 7.7. For you guys, if 7.7 seemed a little high for you, don't be afraid to lower it down. A lot of pro players play within the 3, 4, 5, 6 sensitivity range. So try out a couple different ones, see what seems to work best for you, and then go from there. Of course, it's going to be a lot easier to maintain that aim and make those minute adjustments with the lower sensitivity. And if that's where you happen to be at, and if that works for your playstyle, then all the power to you. Don't be afraid to go as low as you need to. Once you find your right sensitivity, go back to your normal class and just start shooting bots. That's the best thing that you can do. We're not doing anything funky in terms of health quite yet, although we will here in a minute. Work on shooting bots at multiple different ranges, and of course with different movement tactics, whether that be bunny hopping or going around corners, slide canceling, so on and so forth. Really just try to get used to everything that you're going to encounter in the regular game. Now, for those of you that are watching that might already know your proper sensitivity, or once you found out your right sensitivity, we're going to talk about improving your aim past that point. And to do that, we will need to end this private lobby and adjust a couple settings. Turn the max health up to 200, restart the game, because next we're going to work on tracking. Not only is it important to find your targets and shoot at them, it is important to maintain that aim as the target is moving. The best way to do that, like we did for this lobby here, is to increase the aim of the bots that you're shooting at. So you're going to have to maintain where your aim is for longer, especially as they're moving. And you really don't have to do much else fancy with this one. Just as long as the bots are moving, like that one there, and as long as you're having to maintain that aim over a longer period of time, you are in the clear for improving your tracking. Had some ugly shots there, but that's okay. We're going to keep it in the video. I need to improve my aim myself. Yeah, any sort of movement, even on your end too, like I was saying earlier, work with the different movement patterns of Vanguard, whether that be jumping out and bunny hopping, whether that be slide canceling and then cutting back to the left. Not only do you have to get your right stick aiming well, your left stick has to be aiming just as well. This guy was eating a lot of bullets. My muscle memory keeps making me think that these guys are at normal health, but they are not. Oh my god. And up next, not only is it important for you to find your target and maintain your aim on them as they're moving or as you're moving, it's important to find the target. Oh my god, they just fell out the map. It's important to find your target in the first place to maintain that aim. So up next, we're going to work on snapping. It's important to keep these with double health because not only do you have to snap onto your target, you have to maintain your aim at their body as you're continuing to shoot. So what I like to do for this when I feel like my snapping is off is aim a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right of who I'm going to be shooting at, making sure that I'm not zoomed in, and then zoom in and aim towards the target. So with this bot right here coming up on my left, I'm going to aim here, snap to the left, and my thumb fell off the stick right there, so I'm going to have to do that again. I'm going to stick to the right and then snap to the left and have to maintain my aim throughout that. So the better that you can get on snapping, the better that you will hit those initial shots, the more kills you'll get when you're not entirely expecting them. This is one that I personally need to work on a lot, as well as my tracking too. As you say, I kind of overshot that guy there. Now, another thing that I do when I feel like my snapping is off, because sometimes in the middle of like big 2 pieces, big 3 pieces, when there's multiple things on the mind at once and you're not properly centered, you don't feel like you're back in alignment before you can re-snap onto the next person. What I like to do is completely discombobulate my idea of where I'm at on the map. And this sounds super weird. I'm going to look like I'm in phase right here, but I literally will like to just spin around and then have to refine them and then find that snapping target. This looks super weird, and I don't think anybody's ever talked about this before. This might just be my own brain acting all funky, but like having to find a target after not even knowing what you're looking at, I feel like is such a great skill to work on, because sometimes if it's a completely new Call of Duty, a new map, you'll literally have no idea where the opponent's going to be. If you're in a 1v1 and you flipped the map, you might run into him somewhere where you would least expect it. So if you can just make the game feel as random as possible and then have to re-snap, re-center, I think that's a very important skill to keep up with in Call of Duty. Now, if you've been gaming for a long time, you're very used to your sensitivity, you feel up to date on snapping, on tracking, so on and so forth, but you feel like for whatever reason you're having an off day, things just don't seem right. What I like to do, back into the controller settings, into gameplay, and turn target aim assist all the way off. I keep the bots on double health like they were earlier. If you can get used to shooting bots without any help from the game, like, man, I'm looking like a bot right now. But if you can get used to that, whenever you turn the aim assist back on, you're going to feel like an absolute god, especially when these bots have double health. You're going to go back into your normal games and just feel like you are absolutely beaming and shredding. So every now and then I'll find myself doing this just to have to win those difficult gunfights that I don't necessarily have auto aim for. There's a lot of difficulty in Vanguard itself with the aim assist being wonky in the first place. So honestly, it doesn't hurt to kind of get used to that for those particular engagements where aim assist might seem to cut out. And that's all for the sensitivity, for the different tips I have on maintaining the aim. There's one more important thing we need to get to, and to that we'll also have to back out of this game. Make sure you turn your aim assist back on. Don't load any bots in, but boot up the game. We're going to talk about dead zone. Now, mentally, it's already difficult enough to make those small adjustments in game, But if your controller isn't giving you the option to do so easily, you're just making it harder on yourself in the long run. And that's where dead zone comes into play. The right stick min input dead zone. You find yourself with a right stick min input of 20 or 25. While you're pushing on your right stick, it takes forever for it to finally realize you're actually moving in the game. The lower that you turn this, the more sensitive that motion will be. If I go all the way down to a 0, it's so sensitive that before I even touch my right stick, it's noticing a movement. That's what you call stick drift, and that varies from controller to controller. What you're gonna need to do is turn that right stick input dead zone all the way down to the bottom, and then slowly move it up and up until you don't get any of the stick drift. So here I'm at 1, still having some stick drift. We're gonna bump that up to 2. A little bit less, but it's still there. And then if we go up to 3, next to nothing at all. So I feel very comfortable leaving it at 3. This is going to change controller to controller, so don't automatically put yours on 3, but turn this as low as you can before you get any stick drift. We're going to go through everything that we went through earlier just to make sure that you have it down. Again, my controller settings are in the very beginning of this video. Scroll through those and compare them to what you turn out with. Leave target aim assist on, obviously, and then shoot for the default mode. Make sure that you have dynamic. Where is dynamic? Make sure that you have dynamic aim curve response type. With finding the right sensitivity, go into a bot lobby and hip fire, making sure that you can keep an accurate and steady hip fire as you're killing those bots. Once you find that sensitivity, work on getting it down, work on tracking, work on snapping with the double health, and then don't be afraid to turn aim assist off when you need a mental reset before turning it back on and feeling like a god. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please let me know down below with a like or a sub. And I will catch you guys next time at lunchtime. Peace out, good luck in the games, and much love.